What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, June 10th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, only place you're going to get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Paul George, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Brook Lopez, and Marcus Morris on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? Time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to my boy, Chris Middleton. He's shooting guard, small forward eligible, and you know how I feel about that. You get shooting guard, small forward, guard forward utility. That is massive on a 2-gamer. Just 7,800, projected for 41.5. The goal is 50.5. Optimal lineup 41% of the time. I think that Middleton has to snap out of it at some point and start making some of these mid-range jumpers. 39 minutes, just north of a fantasy point per minute, 26% usage, 23, 6.5, and 5 as a baseline. Maybe you get a steal or two, which would be great. I think Brooklyn's defense also eventually settles into the fact that they're not really an elite defense. I don't think that they can keep that up. And when those two things come together, that's going to give me a monster day for Chris Middleton, given his shooting volume so far in this series. Hopping over to Brooklyn now for number 4, that's Blake Griffin. Power forward center eligibility, huge eligibility there on Blake. To get him in forward and center is massive. 4,800, projected for 27. The goal is just 32, and he's in the optimal lineup 42% of the time. He's playing monstrous minutes. He's looked great in both games so far. I expect him to be over 30 minutes if this game is competitive. 0.85 DraftKings points per minute for the game. 15% usage, which feels weird for Blake, but he's become a glue guy for the team. 12 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. He's going to get on the floor searching for loose balls, trying to get in the lanes for steals. He's doing a little bit of everything. And the fact that you can roster him at power forward, centered, forward, or utility, that is ultra helpful. And he's sub 5K. Perfect value play for today's slate. But the top value play for today is point guard Mike James. Just 3,800, projected for 22. The goal is 26. He's in the optimal lineup 46% of the time. He's, to me, is one of the linchpins of being able to pay up elsewhere. I'm giving him 27 minutes since we know that we're not going to have James Harden once again. Just north of 0.8 fantasy points per minute. He's going to look for his own shot. 19% usage, 9 points, 3.5 boards, almost 5 assists, which is really the key piece here for James. But really, when push comes to shove, the ability to roster someone under 4K that could play 27 minutes. Now, let's be clear. If Mike James plays 22 minutes today, he's probably still a top 10 guy because of the price tag and the value you need. So I feel pretty comfortable putting him in at 27. This just feels like a great spot. I like the pace-up nature of this for Mike James and for Brooklyn. They gained 3 possessions over their average by facing Milwaukee. I think that fits James quite well. But really, when all is said and done, the only thing you're worried about is price. And Mike James' price is perfect. It should be higher, and I'm glad it's not. My number 2 contender is my preferred pay-up option on the day, and that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Power forward center eligibility, 11,100, projected for 63. The goal is 71, and he is in the optimal lineup 46% of the time. He's the best per minute fantasy player in the world. I've got him at 1.65 fantasy points per minute for this game. But now he's playing legitimate minutes. I've got him in for 38. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being more. 33% usage, 33 real points, 12 boards, 7 assists, 2.7 stocks. What is not to like? He just does too much on the floor. If this game is competitive, and I expect it to be, the Bucks are favored by 3.5 points. Giannis is going to play almost 40 minutes, if not 40 minutes. And anytime you can get the peak of minutes with the guy that is the best fantasy performer in the world, those two things come together perfectly. 11-1 is a lot. There's not a ton of value on this slate, but there's enough to get there, and that's why he gets to number 2. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live, and then head on over to Twitter and follow me at Josh Engleman. Only place you're going to get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Finally, let me know in the comments section. I need your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and the contender that you thought should have been on this list that you didn't see. Hard to ignore the price tag on the #1 contender. That would be Jrue Holiday. Point guard, shooting guard eligible. Just 7,600. Projected for 44. The goal is just 49.5. He's in the optimal lineup 51% of the time. Again, I expect Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis to flirt with 40 minutes or play 40 minutes. I've got Jrue at 1.1 fantasy points per minute, 22% usage, 20 points. He's had a monster assist rate so far in this series. 8.5 assists, 5 boards, 2.5 stocks. You know how active he is on the defensive end. All signs for me point to wanting to get to a lot of Jrue Holiday. I probably am looking to get to 2 of the 3 main guys from the Bucks in almost every lineup that I'm doing. I'm very, very heavy on Milwaukee for today, and there's no better buck for today's slate than Jrue Holiday. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, June 10th. Process show is in the books. Go watch that. FanDuel version's around here somewhere. NBA strategy show at 10 a.m. Gotta watch it, guys. It's going to be a great one. We're breaking down both games. And then I am back for Live Before Lock from 6:30 to 7:30, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Good luck tonight, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.